North Alabama's news leader. WHNT News 19 at 10 starts now.
A puppy trapped in a hole estimated at more than 50 feet deep for more than 24 hours.
I feel so helpless to help her, and she's really special.
We'll check on the latest rescue efforts. And after yesterday's storms, people are assessing the damage and starting the work of cleaning up debris. And we're learning more about the suspect in yesterday's shooting in Maryland.
Mr. Ramos entered into the front door and worked his way through the office where he was shooting victims.
How the community is supporting those impacted. We start with breaking news out of Limestone County. Police are investigating a fatal shooting in Athens. The Limestone County Sheriff's Office confirmed that 2 victims were found shot on Airfield Street around 8 p.m. According to police, 1 person was pronounced dead. The other person has been taken to the hospital with critical injuries. We'll continue to follow this developing story and update you with any new information. Thank you for watching WHNT News 19 at 10. I'm Kristen Connor, in for Clarissa McLean and Greg Screws. We've been following the story of Toffee, the puppy who's been stuck in a hole for more than 24 hours. Rescuers have tried multiple methods to get her out, including a collapsible net, even sending in a person down the hole to try to retrieve that puppy. Rescuers have been at this for a long time now, but they say they're determined to pull Toffee from the pit. WHNT News 19's Joel Porter has been on the scene today. And Joel, what can you tell us about the situation?
Well, of course, Kristen, you look at this, and even some of the people who have been watching our live feed all day may be wondering, a dog in a hole, how hard could it be when you've got 30 eager volunteers? Well, the answer is very difficult, because try as they might all day long, the little puppy has simply given them the slip, and they say they're not quitting tonight.
When I came out at 5:30 this morning, I saw her down there.
A 7-week-old puppy caught between a rock and a hard place in this South Huntsville backyard.
It just kills me that she's down there and she's fine and I can't get to her.
Karen Smith's foster dog Toffee fell down the crevice on Thursday night. Volunteers and neighbors heard about the problem and showed up by the dozens on Friday.
Now a lot of electrician tools have shown up, and we're just having difficulty getting these tools positioned just right and baiting the dog into a harness that'll bring him up.
It has been a long and very hot day for volunteers at this yard who have tried just about everything to get Toffee safely out of the hole, from PVC, copper pipe, even fishing nets with dog treats zip-tied onto the netting.
Different types of nets will expand and shrink, and the dog won't be able to tuck into a collapsed net. At the same time, an open net won't fit in the hole to go down. So we have to have something very creative that will fit through the rock crevice all the way to the bottom.
Fortunately, there are several creative minds in this bunch who say they won't quit until they can engineer their way out of this problem.
The dog's as lucky as he can get, and he's got all the knowledge and all the tools that we've got available in this community to help.
You could call it a professional who's who among this crowd behind me here, which includes first responders, firefighters, engineers, people of all walks of life, even some of those who are just handymen and have a few creative ideas. Right now they're using utility poles. They have a camera down there, nets, as well as food and water. So we are happy to report that Toffee has been a little active on that camera, eating some of the food and drinking water. So the conditions are okay. It's just a matter of getting her out safely. And we will continue to follow this story from the home at Lindlock Drive in South Huntsville. Joel Porter, WHNT News 19.
Thank you, Joel. For even more details and to stay up to date about Toffee's rescue, go to WHNT.com or download our news app. Firefighters were called away from that puppy rescue to another emergency on Montesano. A mother and son slipped on some rocks on one of the trails and got lost. The pair started calling for help. Search and rescue teams found them quickly, telling us they only suffered minor scrapes and bruises from the fall. A scary situation with a happy ending, as the two were able to drive away safely. Christina, what's next for weather?
Well, I have some great news, Kristen, because even though I like to study severe weather, I like to analyze it, there does come a time where enough is enough. So for the rest of tonight, we stay dry. Nothing on the radar here for me to track for you. That certainly is great news. You do see a little bit of this bluish teal on the map. That's essentially the radar sensitive enough to be picking up some birds and perhaps some bats flying around. But the big picture for us is that we are drying out nicely for the rest of your Friday night. Now, that said, there does come a caveat with that. We are going to get hot in a hurry. More details on how hot it's going to get for the weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Christina. An upsetting update about a woman who was struck by lightning during yesterday's storms. We've learned she's now in a coma. Jo Summers was checking out some construction behind her house when the storm hit. Officials confirm a firefighter was able to resuscitate her before she was taken to the hospital, where she was listed as critical. Family members now confirm that she has since slipped into a coma. The Homeowners Association there in her neighborhood says she's a consulting engineer there. We're going to pass along any new information when we get that. Those storms also damaging part of the Clements High School in Limestone County. You can see it as it happened from this surveillance video. The section of the bleachers just whipped around by the wind. This was on the visitor side of the stadium with football season just around the corner. School leaders are trying to get things fixed up before the first kickoff.
Our best hope to have home games here at Clements Stadium is going to be to borrow existing bleachers from other entities for a short period of time, invite our guests that are coming to games to bring bag chairs.
Superintendent Sisk says if they can make it through this football season, they'll have more time to make permanent repairs. Limestone County school system leaders say insurance adjusters and structural engineers will begin evaluating the visitor side bleachers on Monday. Homeowners in the Killingsworth Cove area of Madison County are also dealing with damage. They say they're going to have to spend the next couple of days cleaning up. WHNT News 19's Olivia Steen has the latest on their recovery.
Residents of Killingsworth Cove are picking up the pieces of a mess left by storms that hit the area this week.
I saw the storm coming through. I didn't know it actually hit here until my son called me.
The latest one arrived on Thursday, and the rain came with strong winds reaching around 100 miles per hour. Neighbors in the area say the sound of these winds rocked the entire community.
He said it sounded like the house was about to just fall apart.
Alan Henry is one of those neighbors with a lot of cleaning to do.
My first reaction was that just knowing how much work I was going to have to do to clean all this up.
Lightning from Monday's storms had already struck one of the trees in his yard.
And then yesterday the high winds took about half of it down.
These fallen branches missed his home by literally feet.
If the wind had blown a different direction, it would have been on top of the house instead of just out in the yard.
Unlike some of his area neighbors, Henry says the damage done near his home is something that can be recovered from.
This afternoon we'll get some chainsaws and start cutting up some of the limbs that are laying around and just start hauling them out to the roads.
In Madison County, Olivia Steen, WHNT News 19.
Members of the Killingsworth Cove Volunteer Fire Department are also helping with that debris cleanup. A popular bar in Huntsville is closing this weekend. The owners of Amendment 21 announced it on Facebook last week. WHNT News 19 learned that the owners got evicted for not paying rent over a few months. Legal documents revealed the defendants owed more than $10,000. Sources say the owners must pay Jeff Benton Properties nearly $50,000 by July 5th. They had no comment for us today. Amendment 21 will serve customers for the last time tomorrow, and we will have the latest about the business's last day. You'll find that on WHNT News 19's social media accounts and our website, WHNT.com. Well, after yesterday's shooting in Maryland, we are only now starting to learn details about the suspect. What police have uncovered next.